Hey, I bet you've been on MK's server and you're wondering how do you launch control these vehicles? These badasses. Don't fret, I'm going to show you how to do that. So, firstly, you want to go into MKElite's Discord and make sure that you have the latest monthly update. So that's going to be the map, that's going to be the cars, etc., etc. That way all of the patches and stuff have been put on the cars and that's all up to date. Very cool, very cool. I'm going to be using the Kratos Viper as I love it. I love the design. I love how it sounds. You'll see very shortly. But anyways, there's a bit of stuff that we need to do. You will obviously need, and sorry to say if you don't have this, but you can map all this stuff depending on what your situation is. You'll need to be able to manually hold in your clutch, accelerate, and up boost, as well as be able to shift gears. I say this because if I could simply put it, for launch control, you go into first gear, you hold the clutch in, you put your foot flat on the gas, it revs super high, and when it's revved all the way up there in your turbo, you basically let it go and the car goes, and it's really cool. So I want to show you how to do that. But I need you to understand the basics of how to do that first. So the basics of how to do that first is that you're going to need to map your shifters. What I have is a sequential shifter mod. So basically going into third gear is the next gear for me. And the previous gear is gear 4. So that's really simple for me. My clutch is mapped. And just to show you, if you don't know where to map your clutch, it's in the axis. You would have done that when you mapped your wheel. And again, if you don't know how to do any of this, drop me a comment and I will explain how to do that, because I really want you to enjoy this. I finally got it, so I absolutely had that eureka moment. I'm like, people are liking this stuff. I gotta make a video of this. Cool. So that, I would recommend mapping your turbo to a button on your wheel. So I have that set as the L2 and R2 ones on my Thrustmaster T150. You don't need to map cruise activation. I've never touched it and gone through it. I think it's just is what it is. So either way, if you have an H shifter, I mean, I do have an H shifter, but I'm not using it. I'm using it as a sequential shifter. You could also use that. You just have to make sure that that's all set up. And that's basically all you need to set up. So let's hop into a drive and we're gonna magically go into the track. All right, and we're back. So I've decided to mute the audio in the game because you're probably not gonna hear me over it, but there are some setup things that you need to do once you're in the game, and this is gonna vary depending on the tune and the car. So you wanna hit the mechanic logo over here. For this specific car, I need to set it to the gear ratio drag 300 plus. Again, a lot of these, sorry, not again, I'm not gonna be like that. These cars have different setups for a 500 plus, a 300 plus drag, or drift. 300 plus is the only one that seems to work for me for these cars. You can change the tires, but what's most important to get this launched is that you have launch control set. I think I was able to do it at 7,500 RPM. I was recommended to set the turbo to 100%, and that's about it. So you're gonna rinse and repeat this for every car you're in, and it's gonna take a little fandangling. But the most important thing is that your turbo is set to 100, your MGUK delivery, or the option that says launch control, is set to either 5,500 RPM or 7,500 RPM. And sometimes you'll have this gear ratio, sometimes you won't, but you'll need to play around with that to find which one works for you. Now, we're going to get to the fun part. Now that we have both the controls for your steering wheel, your shifter, and the car, now it's time to put it all together. If anyone would like me to make a short video on how to do this with the pedals, I can do that, but right now, like I said, you have to hold the clutch go into first gear. That was me going into first gear. Hold acceleration and release. So, holding in clutch, go into first gear. Your turbo's all the way at 100. Let it fly.
Miss Winn-Dixie.
Did you hear my wheel? Alright, and that's it. So, it'll take a little bit of practice, but to wrap this all up, you'll need to hold in your clutch, go into first gear, while the clutch is still depressed, hold the acceleration until you're revved all the way up like that, and then let it fly. Just release it and start accelerating, and you'll see that the car that you're driving is going to fly. It takes a little bit of practice, but you'll get it. If there's anything that I can do to make that clearer for you, just let me know. I'm in MKElite server, Guards Red Gaming again. I just thought I'd make this video because it took me a good few hours to figure out how exactly to do this, despite all the information being out there. And you know, you'll see in the help section what was finally my eureka moment. So gotta share this with all the lovely people out there. For some stuff is easy, for some stuff is not. I'm going to be going over the top 10 if you want to stick with me over this month of these launch control cars, as I did ones that don't have launch control in case you don't want to deal with this. And I'm also going to go to the rally track because I didn't really understand how to get to it, and it's its own separate layout, so I'm going to give that a little test. Either way, I hope this was helpful for you. If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know as always in the comments. Hit it with a like if you were able to finally launch and control that car you were having an issue with, and I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Bye.